Hi guys, my name is Roger, and ever since I was a teenager, I've always wanted to build my own car. I started this channel to see if an average person, like me, can design and build their own mid-engine car. If you like what you see here in my videos, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you know someone who you think might be interested in my videos, please share the videos with them. I'll be adding a new video every week, and with that out of the way, let's get started with this week's video.
Alright, you turn ignition on, I will send this file and I will do a quick systems check.
Okay. There's a wire to turn the cooling fans on. I don't know if you'll run it long enough to need those, but it's plugged into one of the outlets on the Holly ECU. So I guess you'll have to configure that to turn on the fans.
Alright, we're going to do a TPS reset. You're going to sweep the pedal twice. So when I say so, you're just going to go down to the floor, back up, down to the floor, back up. About that speed.
Okay.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Alright, do it. Sweep the pedal. Let them know when you're done.
I'm done.
Alright, key off. Key back on. And we're ready for fire if you are.
Sure. Do we need to plug in the O2 sensor?
Oh, yes, you're right. And you did have a Bosch, right?
I do.
Okay, yep, you plug it
Okay. Okay, it's in. You ready to start?
in. I want to make sure she's reading. Heating. Yep, let's do the first fire.
Smells something.
Uh-oh, like burning electrical?
And maybe the neighbors have a fire. It doesn't smell electrical. It smells like a fire.
Right. I am ready for fire when you are.
Well, I guess you saw we was able to get the car started yesterday, and it seemed like it ran good. And after a few adjustments, a little bit of tuning, It sounded better, it idled good, it took throttle good. And I did have a couple of issues that I need to start working through so we can drive the car. I had 2 fluid leaks. I had forgot to tighten the fitting here for the power steering fluids. I had a leak here that I did tighten. I have some fluid I need to clean up down here. And there was another leak on the where it connects to the power steering pump here, and it's behind the alternator, and I couldn't reach it to tighten it, so I need to get that tight and clean up some fluids there in the floorboard, and probably need to add some more power steering fluid. And let's see what else. The alternator is not wired up yet, so I need to get the alternator wired. And another issue we had was it wasn't cooling correctly, and that could be one of 2 things or a combination of 2. The way I was filling water into the system, it was trapping air, and I'm not positive that it is full of water. I think there's an air bubble trapped in it somewhere, and that could be causing the cooling issue. Or it could be because there was no alternator hooked up and the battery voltage got low and the fans were not turning as fast as they should have been. So that could have been the issue also, or it could be the combination of the 2. But I need to make sure it's full of water, and I need to get this alternator hooked up. And we still need to hook the clutch up by missing a fitting so we can have a clutch functioning and be able to drive the car. But once I get all these things finished here in the next couple of days, we'll take it out and drive it. I need to verify that it drives correctly, it clutch functions, it shifts gears, the power steering feels right, the brakes feel correct, and definitely to make sure that the cooling system is large enough. I calculated the cubic inches of the radiator needed for this size engine and added a little extra just because the turbos are going to generate a lot of heat. But there's still a chance that these radiators are not large enough and won't cool the system. But until we test all that and verify it, we won't know for sure. But I guess this morning I'm going to get started on these things. I'm going to remove the alternator. The alternator has a 2-pin plug on it, and I didn't know until just a day or 2 ago that a 2-pin plug alternator needs to be connected to the factory computer. It's factory computer controls how it charges and when it charges, and since I don't have that, I need an older style 4-pin connector on the voltage regulator, and the voltage regulator supposedly can be switched out on the alternator, so I have ordered a regulator, the old 4-pin style. I'll pull this alternator out, and that voltage regulator, the 4-pin one, will be here in a day or 2, and we will install it and then put the alternator back in. But that brings you up to date. I'm going to try to get these things wrapped up here in the next couple of days and take the car out for a drive. But let's get started on these things. Well, let me give you a quick little update on the car. We managed this week to start the engine, take the car out and drive it, and check some things. The clutch works good. It's a little stiff, but it's not as bad when you're driving it. You don't notice it to sit quite as much. The brakes work good. The power steering works good. The only thing I'm having an issue with is it's wanting to overheat eventually. And I've been messing with it, trying to find out the problem. I thought it was the thermostat sticking at first, and I removed the center of the thermostat, and that still didn't cure it. And then I got to digging a little deeper and realized I have made a mistake in the hoses plumbing on the engine. And I have the inlet and the outlet on the water pump plumbed backwards, and I'm not quite sure how I did that or what I was thinking. I thought I had it correct. But obviously I made a mistake, and I need to at least switch the hoses. If I'd like to switch them inside the car if it's possible. I need to do that somehow so I can get the hotter hose outside the car and the cooler one inside the tunnel. And then I need to replumb the radiators, because I have the inlet water going to the bottom of the radiators and the outlet coming out the top, and that for sure will not work. But that is the reason I'm having overheating issues, and I haven't run the engine hot. Every time I see the thermostat getting up to about 235, 240, I'm shutting it down. So the engine is not a problem. It's still great shape. I was just concerned that it wasn't cooling right, and I was trying to find out the issue. The cooling fans are coming on the radiators, but without the water flowing through the radiators, that's the issue. So I guess that's going to be it for this week. See you guys again next week, where I guess we'll be working on this plumbing issue, trying to sort that out so we can get the car cooling correctly and drive it a little bit more and work out some of the bugs. It idles a little bit rough after it runs for a while, and I think that's because the engine's getting warmer. And once I get the temperature stabilized, then we can adjust the tune for that temperature range and make it run more comfortable. But once we get this water issue worked out, we will be modeling the windshield and back glass. And I've ordered a set of tail lights. The headlights haven't come in yet, but they should be here any day. And I need to get all of these things modeled in SolidWorks so I can hand off all the pieces to the guy that's helping me design the body. And he should start sketching here in about 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm trying to get all my files to him before then, so he can have a good idea of the size and shape of everything to start sketching around. But that's going to be it for this week, and I'll see you guys again in 1 week.